I tested all the new features on the S24 Ultra. It's got a new camera and a whole lot more AI features, like this one. That's actually really good, but are they all this good? The one feature that I've been using the most is Circle to Search. It's like Google Lens, but on steroids. Basically, you long press the bottom middle of the screen, and then you can circle or scribble over pictures or text to search for it on Google, and this works everywhere on the phone. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. Even the camera viewfinder can be searched. Let's try searching for this orchid. And it found lots of pictures of this exact product. It also found this light and many similar ones. But not just things, it also helps you find places. Like for both of these pictures, it gave me the exact location they were taken in. And both are correct. Overall, the Circle to Search is really quick and convenient, and the success rate is pretty high too. The more distinctive the product is, the better it's at finding it. Next one is that you can make these unique wallpapers with AI, but there are some pretty significant limitations. You can't have it generate whatever image you want like with DALL-E. Instead, you have these themes, and then you can customize the prompt. There are a lot of prompt combination possibilities, like a surreal palace made of flowers in the shades of blue and indigo. It generates pretty fast, takes just a few seconds, and each time you get a few different images to choose from. Also, because it's using AI and not just like pulling from a photo bank, each time you generate the same prompt, you'll still get different results. Image generators are typically pretty big models that you can't run locally on the phone. So to use this feature, you do need the internet. The prompt is probably being sent to a big server that generates the image and then sends it back. The results can be pretty hit or miss, but overall, I think it's a cool way to get a fresh new wallpaper. I do wish the prompts were more flexible though, but I doubt that's gonna happen anytime soon. Because training an image generator is difficult. However, it might just be even harder to keep it in line and not generate anything weird or harmful. And perhaps Samsung hasn't really solved the second part yet, which is why it's so limited right now. But at least the current prompts do generate some pretty good looking images most of the time. What do you think of this picture? Is there anything wrong? Well, I made myself twice the size. And honestly, at first glance, I think it's hard to tell that it's edited. If you zoom in though, you can see some blurry bits from the generation, especially in this one where I move myself and then remove the strangers in the back. I also tried rotating this picture and have it fill in the rest. The result is pretty good, except for this mess up here. The quality of the generation really depends on your exact photo, but it can be very convincing. The big advantage is how easy and relatively quick it is. I just go into generative AI editing, draw a rough outline around whatever I want to edit, make the edit, and then it generates it. The concept is really cool, but the quality can certainly be improved. And as for the other editing features, so the generative AI kind of replaces the object eraser, but the erase shadow and reflections are still useful. And they're okay, but pretty limited. Like here, I can't remove the reflections without messing up the words. And for this one, it did remove the shadows on my shirt, but now that area just looks too bright and a bit uncanny. And next, so there's this new wacky customization feature called Photo Ambient Wallpaper. You do need to toggle this on under the labs. But basically, it just adds live weather and time of day effects to a photo. It really reminds me of the iPhone's live weather lock screen, except this adds the effect onto your own photo, which is kind of better. I like it. This is the original wallpaper, and it turned to this during sunset and this when it was raining. If you're into this, it's great. One of the AI features that I was super excited for is in the Samsung keyboard. It can help you change the writing style and even fix all the spelling and grammar errors. But there are a few problems. First of all, you can only choose from 5 writing styles, and one of them is this. What even is this? It's called Emojify. It's pretty funny, but probably not gonna use it again. Another one that probably won't be used is a social one. It doesn't make you sound like a more sociable person, but instead it just adds a bunch of hashtags and kind of makes you sound like an out-of-touch corporate manager trying to make social media posts. Okay, they're probably just having fun with these two. The other ones are more useful, like the professional and casual ones. So I have used ChatGPT to help write emails, and I think the most important thing that you need to get good results from it is giving it context and letting the AI do revisions. Let's say if you're writing to a former colleague asking for a favor, you can just tell ChatGPT these things and it'll keep the context in mind. And if you don't like the results, you can ask for revisions, such as making it more concise. The Samsung keyboard misses out on both of these capabilities, so I feel like the results are not that useful in the end. They're okay and it's very convenient, but ChatGPT can do so much better. Even if the writing style isn't that useful, I do think the spelling and grammar check is great. It picks up on duplicate words, run-on sentences, and spelling errors pretty reliably. There is a length limit to all of this though. In my testing, it was around 240 words, and it seemed seems to change sometimes, which is kind of weird, but for most situations, it's probably long enough. And when you're texting, this can be in any texting app. The Samsung keyboard also has chat translation. You can translate a text, but it'll also show the translations right underneath each message. So if both sides have a Samsung that can do this, you can each text in a different language. The quality of the translation though, use at your own risk. Overall, I think the spelling and grammar check being built right into the Samsung keyboard is really helpful. The other two are a bit iffy, but honestly, that's enough to make me want to use this over Gboard. Just like the keyboard, Samsung Notes also got a good injection of AI. I love the auto format feature. It gives you a bunch of different styles to choose from. Look at this, my old video script was just a bunch of bullet points, but now it looks so nice and clean. The summarization feature is actually pretty good too, better than I expected. It does feel like an intelligent summary. I think it's great for shorter texts, but when it gets long, the summary doesn't really increase in size. Even the more detailed version is still pretty short. And so it really starts to gloss over details. I had ChatGPT 3.5 give it a go too, and I found that the Samsung summary better represents the ideas expressed. The GPT 3.5 was more just like pulling certain facts from the passage. But when it's a longer one, the ChatGPT summary does grow in size, and so it offers a more complete summary. And other than that, there's the spelling and grammar check. It's quite good. All of these features work pretty fast. They do all have a length restriction, but I think it's long enough. I would say the auto format and spelling and grammar can be relied on. The summarize and translate may be occasionally useful. The summarization and translation ability can also be used in Samsung Internet on all kinds of articles and posts. And again, the quality is just okay, but still, it might be a compelling reason to switch from Chrome. There are some other fun features in the photo gallery aside from AI editing. You can make stickers from not just photos, but also videos. I was shook when I accidentally found this out. It gives you options like an outline, even this sparkly one. I wonder where the inspiration for this one came from. But the glitter doesn't move when you tilt the phone like it does on the iPhone. Other than that, you can also select text from photos and videos, which is very useful. And now some quick but pretty useful features. In the voice recorder, it can transcribe your recording and differentiate between different speakers. You can search the transcript and even have it generate a summary. I think this is especially great for lectures. And next is AI slow-mo. Just watch this. I can press down on a video and it can be any video and it will slow it down. But then when I release my finger, it goes back to normal speed. The AI is generating extra frames between existing frames and playing them back at the same frame rate as before so that the video can slow down. I found that it works well unless you have a subject with lots of random details. For example, in this shot, my hair is just flowing in the wind. The AI has a really hard time predicting the essentially random movement of my hair, and the results look pretty unnatural. But for shots without those elements, it looks great. And the good old S Pen is still here. It doesn't really have anything new, but I have gotten lots of use out of the screen off memo feature and also the air actions for taking self photos. These do make the Ultra line stand out. This year, the S24 Ultra no longer has a 10x camera. It's just 5x now, but it's 50 megapixels. And so even when you crop in 10 times, there's still 12 megapixels in that part of the sensor. Last year on the S23 Ultra, the 10x camera was actually just 10 megapixels. So let's see which one's better. The colors are very different now. On the S24 Ultra, it's a lot more contrasty. And if we zoom in, the quality looks about the same. But I'll be doing a more detailed camera test in my full review. And there's a few more Samsung Notes features that I think are cool. One is generating a cover for your notes, pretty cute. There's also fixing your handwriting to be more aligned. It's almost uncanny because it still looks like my handwriting, but just like on my best day ever. Next is the interpreter. It's now a toggle in quick settings. It's alright, but Google Translate reacts much faster. Similarly, there's live translation for phone calls. For both of these translation features, the quality is questionable at best. But when you're translating during a phone call, it can feel really slow because both sides need to wait for the translation. And so the other side might just hang up on you. All right, so those are the features. The performance of AI is a bit inconsistent, but I love this new direction. And I think with more improvements, lots of these AI features will become very useful. Most of the things I showed today only work or work best when connected to the internet and processed on the server. You can toggle it to process only on device, but it severely limits the features. And because most of the things are processed on the server, the caveat is that you might have to start paying for some of the features at a later time. But I think it's reasonable affordable as long as the fee isn't that high, because running AI services is expensive. And I think it makes more sense to charge people who are actually using it rather than inflating the phone's price to compensate for it. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe, and you can watch more here.